Join us on the last bus home.
So, going to cover a bit of Cannock Chase today. So I know you know a bit about it, so feel free to step in any point.
I do, but I've been exposed a lot to it, so I would be very am
Viewpoint.
quite excited to see it again through your eyes. You know, like when you've got a place you go and you're seeing someone else go there for the first time. It's as good again.
Yeah, fair play. I enjoyed it. It was good. I think it's up there as like England's Skinwalker Ranch. I buy that. It's
Absolutely.
it takes that title.
Yeah, when you first start looking, it's like the odd ghost story and it's a bit underwhelming. But when you start scratching the surface, there's just a lot of it anecdotal, but there's a lot there. There's a lot
It's
to
good.
unpack.
There is a lot there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go a brief history for anyone that might be listening that doesn't know what we're talking about. So, Cannock Chase, down in Staffordshire, England. Its origins trace back to the 1140s when it was established as a royal hunting ground. Pretty much your standard kind of place throughout the centuries. You've got witnesses of all kinds of things. Lots of historical events happen there, and iron working pops up again every time. So we've got coal mining, glass making, iron working. It's all about that iron.
More ore, yeah.
Exactly. I found that interesting.
Raw
I swear to
ore.
God. If I was rich, I'd do an experiment and I'd cover my my entire flat in iron and see if I get like paranormal activity, because it's every time. It was the caves. It was that. What was that? England's most haunted town that we talked about. I can't remember it. But
Pluckley.
yeah, Pluckley again. Iron. Surrounded by iron. It's all in the geology. So,
Actually, can I just take a deviation on an amazing idea that I once had that might not be so amazing now I'm older? Right.
fine.
Do you remember, like, when you went to like birthday parties and stuff and you got your little goodie bag with a bit of cake, a lollipop, and a hand, like a picture shuffle game or something?
Yep.
But do you remember you used to get one where it had a picture of a man's face underneath plastic, and you got a little magnet, and there's always little iron shavings in there, and you made a moustache, you dragged it over with the magnet.
I do, yeah, that sounds familiar. Yep.
Right. Well, check this out. The science is absolutely not there because I was a young'un when I came up with this. But you had the Ghostbusters, which, you know, noble as their intentions were, helping people get rid of their hauntings, very good, but there's a lot of work involved. You know, because not only do they have to trap it, then they have to then store it, which, you know, it must be finite. So what I thought was, how do they catch poltergeists? Do you know what I mean? Because they're not like cartoony Jim Henson style creatures that they were catching. But all the electromagnetic field, that's where you pick them up. So if you have a reverse Hoover filled with the iron shavings and you get a spooky move, you can blow it. You've just coated the entity in iron and you can see it. Then you take it down with your hands. You start throwing fists.
That's pretty.
Just saying.
Oh, you can even try and reason with it. It's there. It's an entity now.
No,
It's
you
in
can't
front of your
reason
eyes.
200 years of limbo, dude.
Never know, man. You never
Can't
know.
do it.
I'd like to try.
They're
I'd like
too
to give it a
far
try.
gone. They're too angry. Far too
That's an
angry.
interesting thought, though. I like what you're saying. You're bringing the other world into this world via the means of science. That's a good thought.
That's it. The reason you can't catch one is because you can't see it. All he's got to do is just sidestep you briefly, and you've missed it.
This is it. I think Poltergeist is going to be a lot more sneaky than you give it credit for.
Exactly. But if I can spray a big enough cloud of filings,
You take that one to Dragon's Den. We'll see how that goes. I
Absolutely.
reckon you got a winner there, man.
Or instead of having to carry a Hoover on my back, which can be a bit of a pain, like you have a net, like where you hold the balloons on the ceiling for surprise parties.
Just
Something
shavings.
similar, holding iron filings, yeah. And then you stand in the corner and you pull a cord and it rips it and it just all comes down. Dodge that, you dead
It's a
bastard.
really good idea for a film. Really good idea.
I think they did it in
Like
the 80s, but they trapped it in
Did they
ice.
really?
No, I think it was ice they trapped it in.
I like that.
They
Like a
used
group of
liquid
scientists
nitrogen. Yeah.
go out, catch a poltergeist.
I think it might have been
idea.
Chris Sarandon.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Bro.
sorry about that. I just had to drop a
That's all right.
Dragon's Den moment on you.
I like that idea. We'll put that on the back burner. Might be one to discuss later.
One with skin.
Back to the history of Cannock Chase. So, during World War One, Cannock Chase played a significant role as a military training ground. Don't know if you know much about that, but that's kind of cool. I would kind of think if you went there, you'd probably find, bullets and various like military equipment.
In what, the First World War?
Around. That's what it says during World War One. So I was quite surprised at that. They didn't really mention anything in my research about World War Two, but it says here German prisoners of war were even held in camps within the chase. Not sure if you know how true that is because it seems a bit extreme, but
I don't know. It seems quite normal. We held them up in Scotland as well. In fact, they were held up and down the country.
I just take this place as like like a national park. So all this kind of stuff's quite mad. But it says here it's like constructed a model battlefield. So I guess they did all kinds of like training and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, some national parks and like attractions. I think the whole National Trust thing's more recent, but when in times of war, you've just got to do your bit for your country, and if it means giving up your estate for a while, that's what you've got to do.
Hey, do you know what, man? If you're a prisoner of war, I can think of worse places to go.
Send me to the haunted bloody chase.
Completely ignore
a hotel or something. Yeah.
Completely ignore what I just said about World War II because the area's historical significance further increased during World War II. It actually served as a military base and airfield. So
was it an intelligence place as well?
I'm guessing, man, if they had prisoner of war camps there, they used it as training grounds. It seems to be a pretty like one-stop shop for all your military doodads. So,
I might be mixing that up with something Manor. The other one we'll cover that on a different bus journey.
That's cool. But yeah, like for me, that adds a whole layer of coolness to it. I was trying to research further back. Like before World War One, was it just a bit of land? What was it? I kind of wanted to go back and see some kind of like, I don't know, hints towards pagan worship or something really old. Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't get any of that, dude.
The British version of an ancient Indian burial ground.
Exactly.
Pagan worshipping temple.
Which you never know. But I wasn't really getting much of that. So, recent decades, Cannock Chase has obviously gained its notoriety for all its weird happenings. So, numerous reports, all your usual ghostly encounters, unexplained noises, eerie apparitions, nothing we hadn't heard before. But again, something I like about this place is it's old and it's just a history of it, man. It's got to be something there. As we talked about before, a place can store energy, and I think if anything, this place has got some pretty nasty energy. Depends how well we treat the prisoners of the war. It's pretty brutal. Could be torturing and all kind of stuff going on in there. So, paranormal activity at the Chase, as we're going to start calling it, sparked interest from investigators and obviously all kinds of enthusiasts and nerds and weirdos. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm sure there's been some satanic faux worshipping going on there and all kinds of doodads, as well as just chavs getting drunk. Got to do it, haven't you? I'd love to go. I haven't been yet. You been?
What, Cannock Chase?
Yeah.
Not worshipping.
No, just a day out.
No. Yeah.
That's a shame.
I'm game, for not worshipping, but camping on some ancient pagan burial ground.
We should do it. Well, I don't want to blow your mind, but some believe the chase is a portal to other dimensions or a hotspot for residual energy.
Of course,
and I'm all about that.
It is.
I think it is. I'm sold. You know, I just have to read something. I'm sold.
I mean, just let me pull up a ley line map.
It's got to be on there, right? It's got to be on there. We've established iron's thick in the area, right? That's all. That's all it needs. Paranormal hotspot, plenty of iron, job done. I'm going to say, when we brought the ley lines last time, where did we say? Didn't we say Yorkshire is pretty strong for it? I'm sure it mentioned the
ley lines. We've got two. Okay, so the Wolverhampton area and Stoke-on-Trent and Derby. There are between Wolverhampton and Stoke-on-Trent, which I believe is Cannock Chase.
Right, Staffordshire.
There's an intersection between two ley lines.
Really?
Between Sheffield and Stoke-on-Trent, there's actually the meeting point of all ley lines in the country.
No way. What?
That's
I know
very
it's an
close
actual
to home.
meeting point.
It's about 2 hours away, I would say, about an hour and a half, maybe.
Holy shit, that's a goddamn paranormal hotspot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we're looking. Oh, and they all seem to intersect in a field next to a wee hamlet called Parsley Hay. Mint.
What? No way has people not been to check that out.
They all intersect in that little field.
That's crazy. Oh, we need to hit that up. Hell yeah. Do a podcast right in the middle of the ley lines.
I'm guessing a ley line intersection in the middle of a field in the countryside is renowned for its Wi-Fi.
And it's dogging.
It's dog manning.
Speaking of dogging, Cannock Chase, also famous for the dog man. And the pig man alike.
1975.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I was taken back by the pig man, literally. This dude's great, pig man. So pig man seemed to be
imagine
more...
how he looks. Okay.
Well, exactly. If you imagine it, that's pretty much it. Every crappy YouTube video I watched and bit of like illustration I saw was literally a pig's head on a muscular human dude. But the kind of cool thing about the pig man is, and this is BS, but I like it. So Pigman is a creature said to lurk in the depths of the chase. It's described as a grotesque humanoid figure with a pig-like head, often with glowing eyes and sharp teeth. One popular theory suggests it was a result of a horrific human experiment conducted during World War II. Now, I'm not so sure about this, but hey, you never know.
That sounds more like something the Nazis would do, like the cellar rat house underground.
That's kind of what I thought. Definitely what I thought. Do you know what? If this was in Germany and this was a Nazi-related haunted place, I wouldn't think
it'd just be Wednesday.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, all right, yeah, that definitely happened. They probably had weird Nazi pig dudes. That's not really that far-fetched, considering what kind of shit they got up to. So some believe that Allied scientists stationed at the chase engaged in unethical experiments on prisoners of war, attempting to create monstrous soldiers. These experiments, it's claimed, led to the creation of the pigman, a creature that escaped into the wilderness and continues to haunt the chase to this day.
He's not really a pigman, he's an uber soldaten.
This is it. He's kind of like a universal soldier, a fucked up Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you will.
You're not going to get it right first time, here.
Well, every picture dude who's muscly, like this guy works out. I don't know what he's up to in the chase, but I think he's pounding the roids, to be fair.
I think the pigmen are more scary when they're fat and like greasy.
That's because we're horror nerds. We want just grotesque. This is the stuff of legends.
We're in the gym era. We're in the era of the gym rat.
The way this guy looked, you could imagine one of those daytime romance programs doing a one where a lady falls in love with the pig man.
Like an
And the pig man
American soap opera.
Exactly, like Beauty and the Beast. Remember Beauty and the Beast with David on top of the train? And Linda Hamilton. You remember that 80s TV
God,
show?
that was Ron Perlman.
It was banging, dude. Yeah, it was Ron Perlman. Yeah, they should do that with a pig man nowadays.
Good Lord. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, who would?
Linda Hamilton back in the day.
Ron Perlman is the beast. I mean, talk about saving on makeup.
Ron Perlman was made to play Hellboy and the Beast. 100%, dude. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that guy. But yeah, so Pigman. A little bit of romance in there, added by me, yours truly. So another theory, this is a bit more, maybe one for the ladies. Pigman, a tragic local legend. A woman ostracized by her community for having a child out of wedlock. It's said to have retreated to the woods with their deformed offspring. This child, the legend goes, grew into the monstrous creature known as the Pigman. That's kind of a bit of a shitty story. I didn't realize that, but it's kind of like saying, she didn't marry the dude, so you got a Pigman for the rest of your life.
Well, this is it.
That's
I mean, you say Pigman, but there's nothing to say that it's half man, half pig. It might be just a really unfortunate looking man.
It could be, dude. I mean, explanations on there pretty much say it was a full-on
features,
pighead.
Yeah. I mean, there are some certain... The trait of some overweight people I've noticed have upturned noses.
Definitely.
Definitely. And I don't think
we're really close to a pig.
Buff as that, because I don't know what Pigman would have been doing in the woods to look that way.
This is it.
I mean, the only person who can use the countryside to look that buff is Rocky when he went to Russia.
This is it.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's highly steeped in factoids, but still a nice little cryptid.
What are we doing here, Lee? What are we doing here? I'm only here for the facts.
Well, let me move on to the fact of the black-eyed child. So I know you're pretty familiar with this one, right?
Yep.
I love this. It's kind of cool. It's just creepy. It's creepy.
There's not outside of the internet and creepypastas. There aren't a lot of black-eyed kid stories in England. That's
true. What was that book I gave you where it had like the little poems in, and that mentioned like the black-eyed children of the moors or something? It's just a creepy kind of tale. I like it. So this spectral child, often seen wearing Victorian clothing, of course, extra creepy.
Because that's the only place we can get our ghosts. In America,
exactly.
Well, the youth these days, and in America, they're importing their ghosts from Japan. Because they all seem to have long black hair and a white Japanese burial dress. However, in England, we're not as accepting, and we still prefer none of that fancy foreign stuff. We would like a good Victorian ghost. Thank you very much. Even pre-Victorian era, our ghosts were Victorian.
Hell yeah. Give me the little tombola, the mucky face, all that shit. Fresh out chimney.
Wool cap, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Without a doubt. A little waistcoat. even like urchin scruffy ripped clothes is still had the wherewithal to stick a nice waistcoat on over their shirt.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want my...
I'm calling their elders governor as well.
Exactly.
Respect. Even when robbing them.
That's a ghost to me. So, the origins of the black-eyed child are shrouded in mystery. Ooh. So let's go through some of the theories. So some believe it to be a tormenting spirit of a child who met an untimely demise in the chase. Not sure what was happening, but he died pretty bad. Others suggest a more sinister origin, so it's linking to dark forces or otherworldly entities. Took the child, doesn't really say. Again, pretty open as far as legends go. You can kind of go where you want on that. There isn't like a backstory to some name that you can actually research. It's just, you know what, you got this creepy kid, he's got black eyes, he's wearing Victorian clothes. No one knows how he got that way, but just keep your distance, all right?
That's probably what all the All they had in the shops in Victorian times, to be fair.
Well, this is it, man. This is it. So
If you
gotta
want
wear cool
some
what you got,
clothes, you're getting Victorian clothes. Unless you went to Beamish, you'd have probably got some older ones.
well, as well as a Pigman and the Black-Eyed Child, the chase is quite a lot of creatures and things going on. So we've got a werewolf, sightings of a werewolf apparently. Didn't actually say Dogman. I was looking through. Some have referred to it as a Dogman of Cannock Chase, but a lot of...
I can take this opportunity to just clear some things up because Hammer Horror has not helped in this this situation. Now, my belief is a werewolf is a man who turns into a wolf, or vice versa, like American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
Whereas a dogman, or I suppose a wolfman, would be different, which is where they turn into the cool one that we see with the man's body, claws, and the wolf's head, like dog soldiers.
Yeah.
And the howling and what have you. They're more dogman or wolfman, I would say. Whereas a werewolf or a were creature is where the person would turn into that creature, not mimic it like I was going to say a skinwalker, but turn into one.
See,
because I had that book, which I keep trying to order, there was a whole section in there of they had were snakes, lions, tigers, hyenas. They had them all the African big boys.
See,
were versions of them.
I thought the difference was, like what you said, were versions are man turning into the creature, whereas if you had Dogman, he's like that for life. There's no turning.
Yeah.
Dogman is Dogman. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Like Dogman is for life, not just for Christmas. Maybe where is for Christmas.
I suppose one can turn and then turn back.
Yeah.
Like the Hammer Horror one would be a were-dog man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
A were-dog man. Because he doesn't turn into a wolf. He turns into the half-man, half-wolf thing.
Yeah. I
mean, what's scary, right? If you got two people in front of you and you've got to fight one of them. One of them's a werewolf and one of them's a dog man. Right?
I've already thought this one down.
I'd have to fight the wolf.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably get my ass kicked by either. Not probably, I would. But I just don't find a wolf as scary as a wolf with thumbs.
There's something about, think about it. The werewolf is only that savage for momentary periods of his time, where the dogman is savage 24 hours a day, dude. That dogman dreams savagery.
The dickheads, that's why. And when they've got thumbs, they can hold stuff. They can pick me up by my throat and throw me across the kitchen.
Even just
like
the films.
Dog Soldiers. Yeah,
Dog Soldiers, they're horrible.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And they're the same wolf masks that were used in Narnia.
No way.
There you go, a little fact for you there.
That's cool. I did actually watch a little thing on the a featurette of that making of, and it was really cool, talking about how they've got the dogs up on the stilts and getting that kind of thing. I would say they're my favourite in all films. Depiction of a werewolf or dogman. Dog Soldiers for me. They're ace.
He's one of these. I want to say my absolute favourite werewolf film, but I've always got a soft spot for The Howling.
I'm with you, and even though I know it's cliche, American Werewolf in London, man, just because it's a classic. It's a pure classic.
I never got on with it, I think.
Really?
My problem was, one, I think the age when I watched it, it messed me up. But two, I was never happy with the fact he turned into a wolf.
Really?
He wasn't what I considered to be a wolf man. You know, like up on two legs, like cool.
Yeah,
he just turned into a nasty dog with an attitude, and I didn't like it.
It's a messed up film.
I've always got a warm spot because Rick Mayall's in it.
He is.
He's in the pub at the beginning.
Yes.
Him and Brian Glover, yeah.
Yep, in The Slaughtered Lamb. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's playing chess with Brian Glover. Brian Glover says, keep to the roads. And then Rick Mayall, giggles and says, keep to the roads.
No, class film. But no, I'm with you on Howling. That's just like, that takes the comedy out of the werewolf film and it just gets dirty. It's just dark. It's got a bit of a New York dirty vibe to it. I don't know where it's set, but it gives
Which
me
one?
that.
Howling.
The Howling, it's like a dirty feeling. It's like the same feeling I get from Taxi Driver. It's like a griminess to Howling. It's really good. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
dirty
like
horror.
it's the 80s kind of club scene, sort of
Yeah.
seedy back streets of New York, sort of
Mm.
drugs.
Spawned a
Yeah,
lot of sequels, though. A lot of
in
sequels.
half. In half.
Anyway, so actually pull a little bit of a list of some other stuff. So we've got black dogs as well spotted at Cannock Chase. So I'm guessing this doesn't refer to I don't know, a sprudel or a pug. I'm guessing these are some kind of like big creatures, but described as dark, shadowy canine creatures, often associated with death and misfortune. So I'm not really sure what it means about that, but
Well, that'll be a shook, won't it? A
it's
black
more of
shook.
like a warning as opposed to an actual cryptid.
They tend to
People
hang
say,
more around cemeteries. Does Cannock Chase have that? Unless it's hanging
yeah,
around
yeah,
there
yeah.
because it might be an ancient pagan burial ground.
Exactly. Hey, I'm going to find that, and if not, I'm going to insert it into internet lore. Already discussed that people kind of believe that it's a bit of a portal there. Same sort of issue, same sort of thing as Skinwalker Ranch, really. That it's like you've got, this isn't just a place of one cryptid. I mean, Cannock Chase, you would think Bigfoot, yeah, get it. But then all this other stuff, and we'll get onto it in a minute, but UFOs, everything. And it's like, when I was going through my Skinwalker Ranch phase, I was like really taken back by it was, how could you get Bigfoot and then UFOs and then Dogman and all these things together? And it kind of, if we're going to go really off track, makes sense to me that there's some kind of like crossover portal dimension kind of shift where we're just seeing into other things and things are either crossing over or they're not, or we're just seeing stuff. Again, we'll bring in the geographical formation, the ley lines. It's kind of cool and it makes sense. I definitely think that's what's going on with Cannock Chase, because to put the cherry on the cake for me, you've got the classic UFO sightings. So I'm going to go into that. So Cannock Chase has a long history of reported UFO sightings. So one of the most notable instances occurred in 1988 when multiple witnesses reported seeing strange triangular objects moving silently across the sky. So I actually looked into this, into this 1988 happening. It's nothing wild. The main thing is that you do have multiple witnesses. It's not like anything landed in front of them. You know, you pretty much saw you kind of average UFO in the sky. So these objects were described as having a faint glow, obvious orbs. There was observed again by a large group of people, including, and I'm not sure these days this really stands up, but a local MP. Often noted for their trustworthiness.
No racism.
That kind of chase, man. These guys are bad boys. So, other sightings have included unidentified lights hovering over the chase, strange aerial maneuvers, again, all your kind of standard UFO stuff. Says here, even an alleged UFO crash, but I looked into that and I really couldn't find too much about that. So, I'm not too sure. If anybody does kind of know of a UFO crash there, that would be kind of cool. So I'd like to hear about that. Some believe that the unique electromagnetic properties of the chase may attract extraterrestrial activity. Again, just what we were talking about with other paranormal activity, really. It could entice our spacey friends. So while others others suggest that the dense woodland and isolated nature of the area make it a prime location for secret military aircraft testing, which, again, I'm calling BS on that. I really don't think if they're wanting to test UFOs, they're going to do it over a Cannock Chase. I just don't think England's big enough for them to be testing UFOs, you know what I mean? So I'm calling BS
Well, that's
on that.
if anywhere, you'd be looking at the Highlands or
Exactly. Just not England altogether, dude.
Yeah.
That's why they pull that shit off in the desert. Area 51.
Middle Wales, yeah.
Keep it there. But yeah, that's not happening.
Or above Doncaster or something.
Exactly. So yeah, man. So these sightings are pretty much unexplained. Like I say, they've not really brought in any kind of like ufologists. It's all word of mouth and stuff like that. But again, a lot of stuff going on. That's pretty much kind of like the basics of Cannock Chase that I was able to pull. But this is like, it's a good rabbit hole to go down because there's just so much stuff. I mean, I first started off watching a few sort of YouTube documentaries on it, and it did come up when I was going over the hotspots of the UK, because this is pretty much your daddy of hotspots, I would think. Like I say, I think it rivals Skinwalker Ranch. Bobby Bigelow should get down here and open up a test centre. Yeah, man. Get his boys on this, because I think it's cool as. But again, the things that stand up for me is the eyewitness testimonies. You've got a lot. It seems to be a cool area. I was actually looking like a map of the place, and it just looks badass. I definitely want to go. Definitely want to have a look around. Seems like
it had a zoo at some point, or at least animal enclosures.
It just seems like a lovely place. Like it's actually really scenic. I've not actually been down to that sort of part of the countryside down in Staffordshire, but yeah, I definitely want to check it out. But again, man, it really fascinates me. I don't want to bang on about it, but I guess because it kind of brings it down from the fascinating.
This is an episode that's about Cannock Chase, so you can bang on all you want.
But so yes, I'm going to throw it in there again. So iron, it's every paranormal kind of story we bring up, it always pops up. I know we've been kind of focusing, or maybe I've been focusing on the geographical sort of stuff a lot more, because like I say, it brings it down from the fantastical and puts it in a bit more, bases it in reality, because that makes sense to me. It's kind of
out on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. But yeah, I like it. It's cool, and I want to maybe just research into that a bit more. I'm sure it's been done, but I want to know what the properties of iron are and why it's making people go mad that they think they're seeing kind of crazy stuff. Or is it?
Been done, Lee, and been done loud enough because you've not found it. So.
Exactly. This is it. So yeah, so look out for my episode on why iron makes people go batshit. Or does it open up another realm into another dimension? Who am I to say?
Christmas special to me.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Cannock Chase as a place? You being the skeptic that you are, what do you feel? What do you feel about this place?
I mean, ultimately, I haven't spoken to many people who know Cannock Chase as a paranormal, supernatural, otherworldly hotspot.
No.
Everyone I've spoken to knows it as a lovely place to walk the dog and go take your nana for a tea.
Yeah.
However, who don't love to take the nana for a bit of dogging? You know what I mean? She can't go on her own. It's dangerous.
Yeah, you can't leave that out.
But yeah, ultimately, it's got a checkered history, and like you say, with the eye and the geographical nature of it, I don't see why not. I mean, obviously, you know where I stand on UFOs, and this is going to become more apparent on future journeys. But as far as just hauntings, because I think the most stories from Cannock Chase are just eyewitness tales of various ghosts. The children, the women, they are the ghosts, it's just children and women who say they've seen them. But there's also I believe there's a fiberglass rock cave there, which used to be like a bear enclosure when I believe there may have been some zoo there, but they've took the cage away, but they've left like the rock formation.
Yeah, like in Leeds, they've got that down Cardigan Road. You ever seen that?
Down
like
where?
A bear pit. Down Cardigan Road in Leeds. It's like a bear pit. Yeah, near Henley. And it's where they used to literally just have bears in there for Victorian dickheads to walk by and look. Yeah, crazy. That's nuts.
It is.
That's it. This place seems to have it all. Like, do you buy into? I don't even know if it's about buying into. I'm sure you could research it. I couldn't really find too much. But how legit do you think this was as a military base? Surely there should be some ribbons there, right?
Because during times of war, they needed place for training. I mean, the south was the staging area. I mean, granted, the southeast was more the staging area for D-Day because planes couldn't exactly just fly in from America and go straight to Germany and back. You know, they needed to be here and train here and what have you. So that alone, you know, there'll be relationships formed with soldiers and then lost. So there's your haunting potential there. There's dead soldiers. There's potential there. There's those who died in training. There's potential there. Plane crashes, which is probably more likely than a UFO crash. Although Wolverhampton is more west, I'm thinking a lot of places with vast areas of countryside would have been required with minimal disruption to farming. And something like Cannock Chase, or big national parks, perfect for it, for manoeuvres and that. So during times of war and what have you, people doing their bit and all the lords and ladies being told to give up their land for good old Blighty.
Wouldn't there be like infrastructure there if they had, like it said, prisoner of war camps? Because I'm picturing like big halls and things like that. Surely people weren't giving up the little nice countryside shacks to house a load of German POWs.
They'd have been in prefab sheds, you know, stuff that could be put up and took down at will.
Yeah.
You know, they're not exactly going to roll out the luxury, but they're not going to just make them sleep in a field either. But,
man, that's cool. It'd be cool to get the exact location and just check it out. Do you know where they knew they probably had some kind of thing going on?
Well, there could be some information at Eden Camp. But, I don't think the accommodations, because obviously I wasn't there, but I've only had films to go by, but most prisoners of war just lived in, like, billets, wooden huts. So, and they can be just taken down when after the war and it's all gone. I mean, look at where the trenches and all that were from World War One and Flanders and what have you. That's now fields, but nothing like the carnage that was there. Any scarring on the earth from the wars is largely painted over now.
Yeah.
So a bunch of huts that kept a few barns that they kept some captured squaddies in. I see no problem with them being perfectly untraceable now. I can't see them putting effort into loads of stone, concrete tunnels and underground bunkers just for prisoners.
So definitely some wacky shit went on there.
Yeah.
Definitely some grim stuff. I want to look into, say if some horrible stuff did go on there and that energy is retained, I wonder if it's helped to be retained by the iron. Like something, it'd be good to kind of like go through a list of metals and minerals and see which kind of retains memory or energies better. I'm not sure there's a test out there for that, man, but that'd be cool. I've definitely kind of got it in my head that that's a link. Some grim prisoner of war stuff soaking into that iron, and that's created some kind of dimensional rift that people are seeing all this wacky stuff. There you go, I just solved it.
Like a river of pink ooze under Cannock Chase.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sold. I like this place.
Well, if the military...
Let's buy a property there.
if military bases and infrastructure and what have you is your thing, then Rudloe Manor will be your place. That is Britain's Area 51. If Cannock Chase is Britain's Skinwalker Ranch, then Rudloe Manor will be Britain's Area 51.
Rudloe Manor came up when I was looking at haunted hotspots, 100%. Because I remember seeing England's Area 51. A lot of urban explorers seem to like that place.
Mm-hmm. No, Nick Pope spoke about it a few times.
Nick Pope. No Nick Pope's allowed. Yeah, man.
So post-war RAF Rudlow Manor is known as Britain's Area 51 since declassified secret files released at the National Archives indicated the site was the centre for UFO investigations in the 50s.
Ooh, nice.
So that could be your next topic, Lee. Whereas I
Sounds good.
have my topic for the next bus home.
Nice, good call. I'm looking forward to that. I've been hitting Antarctica pretty heavy lately, so I might have to go down that rabbit hole before I hit up England's Area 51 because that's really capturing my.
You're going to go to the
imagination.
Southern Hemisphere's Area 51.
Hell yeah, we're going to go a little bit further out, but there's some good stuff to go down on that one. I'm enjoying.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Hell of a lot, and it's fascinating.
I don't think that'll be a last bus home. That'll be a National Express home.
Yeah, so
no endorsement for National Express there, but if you are listening, National Express, your buses are lovely.
This is it, man. So to conclude, I want to kind of ask you: do you go bullshit, or do you think there's something there?
A Cannock chase.
Yep.
Okay, well, pigmen, UFOs, dogmen / werewolves, I call bullshit.
Right.
Ghosts, supernatural entities, let's say, or stone tape theory style stuff in the ore, in the iron. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you, minus the UFO stuff. You know me. I'm all about that, and I think that's much more logical than anything down on this earth. But yeah, I'm with you. I love the dogmen, and I love all that kind of stuff.
I would love for it to be true. I really would.
Yeah. But I think that's just kind of the local sort of legend and lore that we seem to be finding in most of these stories.
Well,
but,
what you find with these Wolfman stories, or werewolf, or dogman, or whatever, is Cannock Chase is a woody area. People who like to do non-consensual loving on people tend to do it in the woods, and it's just a way of telling your loved ones to stay out of Cannock Chase in the dark. Yeah. Don't go in the woods on your own, because that's where these stories tend to come from.
You're going to see the dog man sucking off the pig man, and no one wants to see that. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, you don't want to see the dog pigging or the pig dogging. you want none of it. Because it's not good, but you'll want to be eaten when you see it. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
big man dog with his mouth full of pork. It's no good.
Imagine that, OnlyFans. Jesus. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that one. I think it's got enough there to keep me captivated and based in reality. And I just love all the wacky stories that go along with it. But yeah, man, it's I'm gonna have a little pinboard up with all my iron-rich places, and I'm gonna do.
You can have red thread between pins and all that.
Hell yeah!
And articles and stuff, and
hell yeah. Yes, and do a little iron tour. Do you know what I mean? And visit all these iron-rich hotspots, and I'm gonna prove to the world that there's something behind it.
I think you'll get very bored very quickly of doing that.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, anyway. Either way, I support it.
Thanks, man.